I know you probably never wanted to see this again. I've done so many videos with this demo site. So this is another short, sweet video on how we can do multiple dynamic tags within a heading. So imagine that. So typically in GenerateBlocks, first of all, I'm Addison. This is a, a space, a channel where I like to share lots of things I learned through website design and development. I've been doing this for a long, long time, and yeah, and a lot of it's with WordPress and GeneratePress and GenerateBlocks. And I use my own GeneratePress child theme with lots of goodies. I have an old video series on uh, how I originally put that together. It's evolved. I need to do another one. But anyway, this is about a little thing that I learned while working on a client side again, where we have a directory of people, and they have their names are broken down into first, middle, last, nickname, and suffix. So all those are optional. So when we're listing the people, we needed a way to make it a heading, an H1, H2. I think it's an H2 or an H3 in the archive view or the listing view. And of course, in the single view, it's an H1 HTML element heading. So here we're going to look at this one space, but you can apply it to your listing view or wherever you're going to be displaying it. We're going to use our trusty Star Wars area, our post type with the single view of what we're calling our team members. And did you know that Luke Skywalker had a nickname? I did not until recently. That there is a clip that was edited out of A New Hope, the original Star Wars, and where his friends come along and speak to him while he's at the moisture farm with his aunt and uncle, and they call him Wormy. And I think it was made canon in comic books later. Um, anyway, I'm really not that much of a nerd, but I do love some Star Wars. So we're gonna make a space in our custom post type to give Luke his nickname and have it display here. But we're gonna make it optional. So the first thing we need to do is get out of our template view. So this is elements in, I think elements are actually GeneratePress, but we're using the blocks in GenerateBlocks. So we're going to go to Advanced Custom Fields, to our field groups. We're going to go to our team member fields. And so the title is actually something that's like he's a Jedi, he's a smuggler. We're going to add, okay, let's do this. So let's just do, text. So we're going to do team F name. That's actually going to be the name itself. And this first name, yeah, here we go. Okay, we're going to duplicate that and do last name. We'll do team L name. Should I spell that out? There's something telling me I should spell that out. We'll do that. Go back to first name. And if you're not familiar with custom fields and or GenerateBlocks, GeneratePress, I mean, go back through some other videos on my channel, please, and some others. The admin bar is a great one. Adam Wright is a great one. There are lots of them out there. Look for just do a search for GenerateBlocks Advanced Custom Fields. I did a series on using advanced custom, like doing a deep dive, like looking at how you can output them with the dynamic tags and GenerateBlocks and how the values are stored in the database and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's go check it out, please. And then we're just going to do. I could have duplicated and started rambling. Middle name, no, nickname. Nickname is one word, I think. So we're gonna do team nickname. Okay. So let's move these up here. And let's do presentation. Let's make these all in one row. I think that's reasonable. And another reason you can do this, break up the name separately, is you can use it for sorting. So you can sort by last name, then first name. If you're, really getting into the data-driven kind of stuff. Okay, we're going to save that. And then we're going to come over to our team members, post type, and go to Luke. Why didn't that? Maybe I entered the wrong value. So Luke Skywalker Wormy. Nickname of Wormy. We're going to update that. Let me see what's going on with that real quick. Yep, I had last name set to 35% for some reason. So we have these in there and we have saved it. So let's jump back over to our elements now. And I'm going to show you where the problem comes in. So our single template. So we have the post title and we have an H1. This is a GenerateBlocks element, block, whatever. And we can only assign a single dynamic tag to it, but we need 3. So how do we do that? Well, we can use, I'm going to use my trusted list view here, and we're going to insert a new container element up top. And if we go to the settings, we see we can change the tag name. Oh, but woe is me. An H1 or H2, none of those are available here. So what do we do about that? Well, the GenerateBlocks team knew that we would be trying to do stuff like this, so they gave us a way to do it. Now, this is my child theme on VS Code here, and you can add this in code snippets in a plugin. You just need to be able to do PHP. So I have a little ink folder. So what happens here is I have so every child theme needs a style.css and a functions.php file minimum to work. And my functions PHP file, at the bottom of it, I have these other files in my ink folder that I can include or comment out so they're not included. So I can only use what I feel necessary. But I have, okay, here's GenerateBlocks. And I think GeneratePress. Yeah, we're going to use that. I'm going to save that. I'm going to go to my ink folder and find that file. It is, why do I have a GeneratePress? Yeah, okay. Let's do GenerateBlocks. And we're going to wipe out all this stuff because I'm not using it. It's old stuff. And that's generally why I don't include that file anymore. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to copy the thing I did on my client site and I'm going to paste it. Okay. So they give us this filter called block type metadata. And honestly, I don't know if this is a WordPress or GenerateBlocks thing. So Google it. I don't know. But you'll see this show up in the GeneratePress support forums. Generate.support. Cool name. And what it is, we're going to say, okay, if the block has a name of GenerateBlocks element, so each block has its own kind of identifier name, it's going to give us some more things. And these are all arrays, and you don't really have to worry about it. If you want to dig into it, you can. It's just, so whatever value metadata is holding, there's an array of attributes, tag name, and enum. I can't remember what that is, but we're going to add, essentially, here is the part that's going to change. Here's where we add our stuff. So essentially, we're going to say, with an array, add the ability to make our container one of these elements. And you could do all the way through H6, and we can. What the heck? H5, H6. Let's be a completionist about it. And we're going to save. Upload it to your server, wherever you're doing your development. I'm using local. And let's go back to this and let's see, let's save and refresh real quick. So there is a little bit of code here to make that happen, but once we get this container taking on the tag name that we want, there you see it. So let's give that an H1, that tag name. Now we can put in these text blocks, whatever, from GenerateBlocks, and we're going to assign them. We don't want it to be a paragraph, though. We want it to be a span. And you can see the preview is already taking on the attributes, the styling of my heading level 1. So let's go to these dynamic tags, and we're going to do post meta. And what we had, team first name. Yep. Okay. Now that's added. So let's go to edit now, and let's just start knocking this out. Post meta. Key team last. You know what? Let's do nickname. And we're going to do something else to help set that off. Post meta key team last name. Okay. And we're going to get rid. We're going to get rid of that one. I'm going to use my Shift Alt Z and make that poof. Okay. So now it has all of these in here, but let's set off that nickname just a little bit. And I'm going to jump over here to my other window and look up what, let's see, quote marks, because I don't remember the entity, and I'd rather just, I can copy paste. Come on, man. Ugh. Where? Oh, they're all highlighted. Stop highlighting. Okay. I just want to copy paste it, and good grief, is it all that hard? Maybe this will do it. Let's go back to edit, and where is our... So I'm going to shift control and paste. There we go. I did my quote marks. So all that means is paste it in with no formatting. I'm just copying off of a web page with actual, because we don't want that. Now I know in some cases WordPress will convert that for me, but I'm not going to test that right now, to be honest. Whoop. And shift control paste means, paste in just the text for me, not any associated formatting. Okay, so let's test it. Let's save, and let's see what happens. Well, first of all, it's too big, and there's also no space, so there's no line break, because it could jump down to the next line, but it is working. And if we look at the inspector, I'll be damned. I didn't know it would do that. So it combined it all into one span. Well, guys, this changes everything. Okay, hold up. So I might have been making this way too hard. I just made a video about this thing that I didn't need to make a video about. So let's go to this and make it an H1. Let's come over here and let's edit. I'm going to grab all that. I'm going to paste it in here. And let's just hide that real quick. I'm going to have to eat my words. Holy cow. Well, I may post this just because. But I feel kind of dumb because I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know I could do multiple dynamic tags within one heading element. And I don't know why in the world I didn't realize that. So there you go. But how do we get rid of the space? Let's see. Let's go back to edit. And I guess we could just add a space. And then we'll have to test it when there are missing values just to see how it works. Yeah, I'm thinking it will work. I'll go back to team and let's pick Princess Leia, who has no nickname. Oh, yeah, we don't have any data for, okay. Then let's go back and fill in the data. Okay, hang on just a second. Okay, now the reveal. What is going on? Okay, just a second. Okay, I think I figured it out. And this is why I like doing this, because I feel like I'm kind of learning and you can learn with me. So here's what's happening. So these are all set, at least by default. If you don't include, good grief, I can't remember what it is. Just a second. Okay, let's try to wrap this up. So there is a tag or another property attribute, so that I can add with a pipe character that just says required colon false. Required false. Required. Did that wrong. False, not place. False. We're going to do a couple of things. So now we get the name, but we also get the quotes. So now I'm remembering exactly why I did it the way I did it. My mistake was, and I'm going to delete this, and we're going to look at that again, but I have to unhide it. Yeah, and let me rename this name heading. Yeah, I made the mistake of adding an element, one element, and just going in and typing, which was cool because I learned that you can do multiple dynamic tags for the content of one element. The trick is if any of those check to false, unless I have that attribute in there that says required is false, none of that is going to show. So what I should have done was this. I'm going to duplicate. Gosh, that looks like a mess. Hang on. So that one there. Oh my gosh. Okay, you know what? Hang on. Okay, sorry, I did some cleanup. So we're back to that very first post meta. It's a span. We're just doing the first name. And what we're going to do, we're going to recreate that in another separate element, another span element. So I'm going to duplicate it. Let's see, and we're in edit. You know what? I'm going to do this because I feel like that's a mess. Nickname. And then let's duplicate it again. And we'll get the last name. Okay, so now we have all three. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put those quotes in real quick. Hang on. All right. That's done. So now let's save it. So now those are 3 separate elements. So if nickname is not present, that one span element should not appear. And also, I think it will take care of our spaces and line breaks for us. So yeah, so now first name, last name. You could also style these separately if you wanted to now, but they're within one H1 element. So we did need that container, turns out, to do it an easy way. Although we had to go all the way around the world to get to easy. Yeah, so let's look at Luke real quick and just make sure he's showing up the way he should be. And yes, he is. So if you take a peek at that, we have the H1 element and then these three spans, and that's valid HTML because you can have a span within an H1. And like I said, you could even style these differently. So your do I have italics included in my font? So I've selected that nickname, and I don't think I have italics included in my font face. So it'll just be or the actual font files for the italic version of that font. So it's just going to be sloped, but you get the idea. That's ugly, and I'm not going to do it. All right, so I had to, yeah, sorry. So I came out of the gate excited and confident in what I was doing, and then I doubted myself, and then I figured out that I needed to be doing it the way I was to start with, and so that is where we will end. So that's it. So that one PHP snippet to turn a container into something that can be an H1 or H2, H3, whatever it needs to be here under settings. Sorry, tag name. Yeah, so it can be an H2. So that's where I'll leave it. So that is doing multiple dynamic tags within within a heading element. And, with that handy dandy filter, this block type metadata, and we have time. This won't take long. Let me check and see. That is a WordPress filter. So it's not unique to GenerateBlocks or GeneratePress. It's just the guts of it, I guess, the part where you dig down into it. You're seeing if it is this kind of element, and then we're adding new metadata, new attribute options to it, tag names, whatever. So wasn't that fun? Yep. Hope you enjoyed that. Please like, subscribe, leave me some comments. Tell me what you think. Is this useful? Is this nonsense? Are there other exciting things you'd like to see in the world of web design and development? I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.